So on the form, I just saw just like basic kind of like jumping, pulling on the leash, and you're just looking for like the obedience aspect of the training.
Exactly. Yeah, Maisy's like, she's super sweet. She's like, she doesn't mean, we think she doesn't mean to be bad. It's like, and she's really smart. So we've done some training on our own with, you know, like sit, stay, shake, like those types of things. She knows the commands. It's and calm, but she it's just like she only does them when she knows that you have a treat and when there's not something better for her. You know, like if we were out at the park and we said come, she'd be like, no, I don't really care for that treat right now. I'd rather go play. So I think it's kind of like she's smart. She chooses not to listen. So that's what we're trying to work on, is getting her to listen 100% of the time.
I see.
Yeah.
And then all the food stuff, was that like just like was that through a trainer, or was that like you guys just trying to
that was just yeah, that was just us on our own. We got her back last March, so with like right at the beginning of COVID and everything, we just tried to do whatever training we could on our own, and I think have just kind of over time come to the realization that like it's not enough for, you know, like she's still, when she gets really excited, people come over, she'll jump up on them, and like not in like a mean or aggressive way, just because she's like way over energetic.
Yeah.
And
So
same with like, yeah. So that's probably like our biggest things we'd like to work on are that. And she's pretty smart too. Like she only does it with people that like she knows. So like kids or neighbors or like, you know, or older people, like generally she never would jump up on a kid, but when she sees like our friends or family or us, she just goes insane and gets really excited and jumps up. And then yeah, like the leash walking, we've been using a pinch collar, like the, what's it called? Prong collar. And that helps. Like when we have just a regular collar, she just pulls like no other. Okay. And that helps. We've been working on heel with her, but we're probably just not doing it exactly like we should be, because we don't have like the training. And then yeah, but she's generally pretty good on that. But like we were just walking this morning and neither of us were paying attention, and there was a squirrel, and all of a sudden she just like almost pulled him over, just lunging towards the squirrel. So yeah, so there's that. And then
yeah, the only other major thing is the separation anxiety. Like Caroline mentioned, we got her last March, so you know we've been around her 24/7. Yeah. And she's really gotten used to that. And, you know, she's a golden retriever, which we've read. I don't know if there's any truth to this, but they're definitely more prone to separation anxiety. So, you know, if we leave the room, she's definitely a Velcro dog. Like she'll follow us to the bathroom. And then we've taken her to both of our parents' houses, and she's done some damage to doors when we're in another room, and she'll jump up and scratch the door. And since she doesn't immediately respond to someone telling her no, kind of embarrassing. She's definitely damaged the paint on some doors in our parents' houses, which is not great, but that's definitely another big one.
Okay. Anything else you guys would like, or anything to know about Maizy?
I don't think so. I mean, yeah, she's really smart, really like gentle and everything. It's just
she's very excitable.
When she gets excited. And same with like we never, unless it's like somewhere gated, we never allow her like off leash, because she knows the command come and stay, but she, you know, like I said, if she doesn't want to do it, she's not gonna do it. She'll do it like at home, or if you have a treat and there's no distractions. But yeah, so we would like to be, I mean, ideally like to be able to have her off leash eventually once she's like started to pick up on the training, and yeah, and be able to trust her like at the park or stuff, or just you know, to come when we need her to come.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's, I think that's it. She's hopefully like somewhat not too difficult. She has no major issues, just things we would like to be better.
Yeah, tighten up.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And then you mentioned you would like the off leash. Where do you see yourself with Maizy if you can have what you want with her, like a year or two in the future? Like what are your goals with Maizy? Like, do you guys, for example, like do you guys just take her for a walk from point A to point B every day and there, or do you take her to restaurants and you just want her to chill out and like have a nice breakfast or dinner? Or like, do you go on hikes and you want her off leash and you know you want that recall like that? Like, what do you where do you see Maizy in the future?
Yeah, I think probably able to go to restaurant, and she has done that with us, and she's generally like pretty good. Like she doesn't counter surf. Like she'll walk up to the food and like she knows it's there and she wants it, but she has some self-control, and like even if we have food on the coffee table, she'll get really close to it, but she knows not to like snatch it. And same with at a restaurant. But yeah, it's just like, you know, if she sometimes just making her calm down when she's wanting to be all over the place and say hi to people and stuff. I think with like, I mean, in a perfect world, sure, if we don't go on hikes that often, but yeah, like if we were doing anything and she would just come when she was called, I mean, that would be perfect. I don't know if that's like a need for us. Probably more so just being able to take her to like the park around here and trust that she's not going to go run out into the street when she gets excited with another dog.
Yeah, I think we'd keep her on leash from point A to point B, even if she did have the ability to you know, stay at our hip and come when called. But I think ideally what we'd like to get out of this is, like Caroline said, taking her to the park and throwing the ball. And then also when she goes outside, like at Caroline's parents' house, they have a pretty big backyard that's fenced in, so we're comfortable letting her out there off leash. But you know, she doesn't come when she's called, and it kind of involves bribing her with treats or going out there physically and getting her, which is super annoying, especially when it's, you know, 6:30 in the morning and snowing. So it would definitely be ideal for her to come when called, on command.
Okay. So yeah, I was just asking because we have, you know, the different programs and everything. It's you know, it's depending on like what commands and obedience wise you're looking for, because we wouldn't give you like a program where it's giving you all these fancy commands and you're not going to be using them, you know. It's just whatever you guys are needing and wanting from Maizy. Yeah, sounds good. For the so with the food and everything, that's usually what happens with positive reinforcement. It's just like if you don't have the food, then how are you going to bring the dog back? Or if, let's say Maizy did like the food enough, she might, let's say she, you know, you said she like wanted to chase a squirrel. To her, if she sees a squirrel and you have the food and she knows you have the food, she might be like, well, the squirrel is better than the food, so I'm gonna go.
She totally does that. Like it's like she makes her decision of like, well, I don't. She's very food motivated, but like you can tell when there's things she would rather have than the food, she just makes that decision versus, knowing that she has to do what we ask.
Yeah. So then there's like where the positive reinforcement kind of caps at. It's that we need that food, and there's no consequence if like they don't do it. It's just that they just don't get the food. So that's not like a loss for Maizy. But then with the prong, it's definitely a step towards the more like stricter and disciplinary like obedience. But just the issue with prong now is that if you take the leash off, then you just lose all the control. So you're still happy there at least. And then with the prong, it's a bit more technical with like how you use it. It's not just put it on and like hopefully she does okay. It's you have to like kind of teach it and everything. So That's with the prong. But how did she do with the prong? You said she was still.
Yeah, it's good. But it's almost like a Band-Aid. Like if we go for a walk with her without the prong collar, she pulls like you wouldn't believe, like she did previously. The prong collar just works to maintain her when we're walking her with the prong collar, but it doesn't seem to make any like,
it's not like
kind of permanent progress.
Behavior.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
And like this, like she doesn't really care that much if it's like pinching her, you know, clearly with like the squirrel today, she just lunged forward. So she doesn't care. Like, yeah, it definitely helps from before when she would just like be pulling full strength ahead like the whole walk, but yeah, it's not perfect.
Yeah, and golden retrievers, like from what I've seen here at the daycare and the previous Goldens we have, they're pretty tough. They're pretty tough dogs because like they have a hard time kind of understanding like discipline because they're so like happy-go-lucky. They're like,
exactly.
You know, it's pretty funny, but like I've seen like some tough Goldens that they don't care, like they'll just keep playing, and then so the prong.
Like, Carter's parents have a golden retriever who's 4 now, and his mom's like, yeah, once she's like 3, it should get better, and we're like, that's like 2 more years away.
So the thing with that is because whatever Maizy's practicing now is what she's going to be doing forever, because it's going to become habit, like the impulse control with the like, I see a squirrel, I'm gonna go for it. It's gonna be practiced, and she's gonna keep doing it as she gets older. So that's kind of, maybe if she's like old and tired, she might stop, but like, as less energy practicing these behaviors, it's gonna become habit. And then and then real quick, with the separation anxiety, I'll just give a few tips here. For what we've been having the clients do if they get a puppy during COVID is if you know you're going to have like a 9-to-5 job, we recommend the clients kennel their puppy and or dog 9 to 5 Monday through Friday in a different room to create the separation. If you're going to have like a dog walker in the future, maybe like you can take Maizy for a walk at 1 and then back to the kennel. But just getting her used to that schedule so that because right now she's probably thinking like from the moment she got to the house, like, this is life. This is mom and dad are here all the time.
I can be with you guys all the time.
And it's not too late to start. You can start kenneling, you know, whenever you guys like. But obviously, you know, sooner would be better, just in case things, you know, we all of a sudden just go back to work or whatever changes might happen. But that's what we've been telling our clients. And, you know, even Jesse said like he'll know if a client has done the kenneling away or not, because he can tell, like, because there'll be more issues with like the anxiety and everything. So is she kennel trained?
Crate trained, like crate? She, well, not like she should be. Whenever we leave her in the crate, but she hates her crate, so we've clearly not done a good job of like building her up to being used to being in it. Because I mean, back in March, when she was a puppy, we hardly would ever leave. Like now we go out and do more, but I mean back like last winter and summer even, like, really didn't leave the house that much, and should have like thought to do that and leave her in the other room, but we didn't. So she, like, whenever we leave, we don't really trust her to like just leave her around the house, so we do put her in the crate, but it's like we have to like drag her into the crate. She really doesn't want to go into the crate. So that, I mean, we don't do, it's on us for sure. We don't do a great job of like we should do it every single day, but I don't know, maybe we go out every other day or so. So we like just leave her in the crate when we go somewhere, but we should just start. That's a good suggestion. Like putting her crate in the other room when we work for a few hours and leave her in there every single day so that she starts to get used to it.
Yeah. And if anything, it'll be harder for her to be in the crate when you're there, because she's probably thinking like, why am I in the crate? You're here, you're home. So then once things go back to normal, the only thing that's changing is that you're just leaving. So it should be a smoother process. And then with if is she having trouble in the crate when you leave, or how is she when you come back? Like, is the crate like chewed on, or is it, or anything like that?
Yeah, so we have like a like security camera that we put in front of it so we could like see her when we're gone. She tries to escape, like she tries to get out when we first leave, and then she just kind of like sits there and pants a lot of the time. And then when we get home, she's like insane, hyper, like crazy. I've never seen you guys before. Like, you left me for a year, and it's like awesome to see you. So yeah, she like it's very. We try, like, I mean, we've read, like, try to ignore her and try to like not acknowledge and like don't say hi to her when she's being all crazy, but it's like it hasn't really changed anything. She's kind of always still like that. So I think if we do it like every single day, that's really the only way to probably to help fix it.
And then like once we like once we're going through the program and everything, you'll be given tools to address the like, for example, if you crate her and you're working from home and she's like whining in the other room, that would just be corrected. It wouldn't be, because sometimes owners think, okay, she just wants to get out, I'll let her out. Then she's gonna start to realize every time I whine or let me out. So so those are just like correcting.
That's helpful.
It's just correcting the behavior. And then we can talk about that later throughout the program and everything, and giving you the tools and advice to go about that. But so it sounds pretty kind of just the basic stuff, like leash pulling, jumping, excitement, and then you went to recall. So, and then did you guys like do any research about like how we train and like what tools we use? Like, we use Prong and e-collar. Are you guys aware of, like, I know you said Prong, but are you guys aware of like how e-collar works, or?
Sort of. I mean, generally we know how it works, but I guess like it would probably be helpful any info you can provide us. We've never used one before, so.
Okay. And then you said you had a pager? No?
We don't. No, we don't.
Oh, okay. I heard pager. But so e-collar, we use a brand called Dogtra, and it's similar to like a mini TENS unit. I don't know if you guys have ever been to a chiropractor or physical therapist.
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
It's like those little circles that like move your muscle. That's what the e-collar is.
Okay.
So Jesse likes to put it as it's electric but not electricity. So when you feel the collar, it's not like it's going through your whole arm and like you feel through your body. It's like there's these 2 contact points that are just like moving your muscle. And if you reach a certain number, you'll see your thumb like kind of like move like this, because it's just it's moving the muscles.
Yeah.
And, our e-collars have 127 levels. So the old cheaper collars have only like 10. And the R127 is equal to 10. So we can like really be specific with what like Maizy's number would be. Because the issue with the 10 was, if you get to a 5 and it's too much, but then 4 is too little, so then you can't find that middle ground, which is what we can do with the Dogtra.
Yeah.
Awesome. So a lot of there's like misconception with like it's just like punishment and everything, which is not. Like e-collar can be a motivator as well.
Yeah.
So for example, if you run a red light, you get a ticket, which is consequence, but it's like a motivator for you to do better traffic wise, obeying the law. So it works the same thing with that. What else? And then like the e-collars, they last long. She can go swimming with them as well. Depending on what model you get, it could be up to a mile long range. So you got the range because they're used for hunting dogs.
Okay.
So they get range on them. What else? It's pretty much about the e-collar.
Nice. Do we buy it? Do we buy it through you guys or like, or online or?
Yeah. So after this, Maria, our assistant, will provide you guys with all the information that will be relayed throughout the consultation, like the prices of the programs and the options, and then the e-collar. So what is it with so the way e-collar, why it's so effective is because it's so like the Prong. So it's got the spikes, right? All the spikes.
Right.
Yeah. So the Prong, it was meant to mimic a dog bite. So for example, if Maizy was being excited and jumping on an older dog, so like your grandparents have an older dog?
Yeah. Well, my parents have, she's like 13, their dog, and she's small. So yeah. Yeah,
so if Maizy, well, let's say she was jumping on a dog and like the dog was like, I do not like this, they probably just like bite or like nip, trying to get Maizy
nip her back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Maizy would be like, okay, I just don't jump on you. And that's easy. Just like one split second of uncomfortability and her understanding what this means.
Yeah.
So with the Prong, it's very similar. It's supposed to mimic it. So if Maizy was jumping on me, it'd be like a quick like leash pop, like a quick moment of like a bite, and then she'd be like, okay, I just don't jump on you. But the issue with that is sometimes the Prong, because obviously you can't reach an actual the actual like pressure and intensity of a dog bite with the Prong collar. So sometimes you'll cap there. You won't be able to reach over that level of where she's at. So if she's excited and she's at like a level 7, and like even like me or like a strong person, if they give their harshest correction, it could probably just be a 6, and then you're never gonna reach 7. So that's what can happen with Prong as well.
Okay.
That's where like the e-collar is most effective, because we can reach that level of Maizy if needed. And then also it's also like the physicality. E-collar is also the physicality with similar to like the Prong and like dog bites. Because it's a feeling. It's also not confrontational. So like she doesn't know it's you pressing the button. She doesn't know who's pressing the button. She thinks it's the universe telling her something,
Yeah.
Okay, closer. I'm sorry. So we're able to like match, the physicality and like talk in dog language, because when we talk in dog language, they catch on faster, and we just see faster results, and they're able to understand. And when I say there's no confrontation, is because Prong collar is very confrontational, because she sees the leash attached to you, and if you want to correct her, you give her a leash pop, and she sees all that. So sometimes dogs are uncomfortable with that, and it could affect the relationship here and there. But some dogs are like, I see you correcting me, I don't like that, and they might correct you back or something like that. So with e-collar, they don't know it's you. There's no arguments. You're literally just pressing a button. So that's where it comes super handy, and it's super easy, and it's also very easily transferable. So if I or you were to work with Maizy, and then you just like, because for Prong, if you're not strong enough to correct, she's gonna know that. She's gonna like, okay, you're not strong, but he's strong. I know he can correct me, so I'm gonna be good with him, but not with her.
Exactly.
With e-collar, you don't get that. It's all the same, because it's the same number for you and him. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So that issue of like, he respects her but not me, you know what I mean?
Which does happen.
She does?
Yeah. I think too, with like when we use the Prong to walk her, like like you notice if you're really aggressive with it and like, you know, kind of like snap it to tell her to heel, she'll do it temporarily. But then the minute you aren't doing that, she just pulls, because it doesn't bother her to pull at her own like pressure. Like she, you know, like you said, if maybe when she pulls, it feels like a 4 and she doesn't really care. It doesn't bother her. And if we like snap it hard, maybe it's a 7 and that affects her. But then I feel like because we're not consistent with it and because we don't always want to be like, feel like you're like snapping her neck, it's just
yeah,
it's not effective. So
yeah, it's if anything, it's also tiring. You're just constantly yanking, and then you're not getting over that number where she's at. So it's just like,
yeah,
both the e-collar.
Yep.
Yeah, with the e-collar, you don't need to worry about that. It's just pressing a button and then increasing as needed of that number. But yeah, I mean, you know, dogs thrive with like discipline and like this type of discipline, like the physicality of it. So that's where we see the best results with that. And then like, for example, like, because I already said this, but like for food, you only get like a certain percentage of control. And prong, you get a little bit more, but e-collar is like close to 100 or 90% of obedience. Like we can make things happen. So it's like, why would we, you know, like we use food in training for puppies 6 months and under. But once they reach 6 months, they're on e-collar. And even if the owner wants, so I think we had a puppy, a Doberman puppy. Her name was Azula, and she was like 4 or 5 months, and she was here for 4 weeks. And by the end of her program, she was already off leash trained. She, you know, you take 5 steps, she takes 5 steps. You stop, she sits. She knows how to recall off play. She knows how to recall off drive. She knows like the emergency commands, like emergency downs, and she knows everything. So we're able to do it. It's just you need to do it like a certain way. The public, it looks bad because you're seeing a little puppy with like a box, you know what I mean, and a prong collar. But she's good with it. She was amazing. She was really fun to work with. So young, old, you know, I think Jessie said she's trained a few dogs with like heart murmurs or like health conditions, and they've been fine. There hasn't been any issues with that. So it works with many dogs, like pit bulls, any breed. They're all dogs to us, so it just works. What else? Any questions so far?
No, we reached out. Our neighbors gave us Jessie's name. Their dog Susie worked with you guys, and we see them like walking down the street, basically. No leash, you know, and they go to the park and play, no leash. And I'm like, that looks nice. Like we're walking this morning with our coffees, and like I'm trying to hold the treats and make her not pull, and he's holding the, you know, the leash.
And then Susie's always out there like off leash, and he's like, yeah, we're heading to the park, and she's off leash, and we're like 2 hands on the leash, like, oh, that's awesome.
So we're like, well, I don't know why we didn't do this sooner, just procrastination. But I know to get to that level takes time and everything, and you'll see a lot of work. But
you'll see results within the first class. But then after that, it just, like you said, it takes time and practice, and like you guys doing your homework and advancing. But once you see it work, like for example, Jessie had a client. She did so much foundational work with her puppy, and Jessie could tell, but she did not like walking her dog because she was always pulling. And then once she started the program, she loved walking her dog. She walked her dog even more, and she was able to practice back to back. And it's just, you'll enjoy walks with Maizy, and it'll just be, you know, you can have 2 coffees and your remote. I'm sure, but you can enjoy your walk like that. And it does make life easier, and she was very happy with that. So I'll take a note. Susie, it might have been Jessie's client, Susie.
They said they gave us Jessie's name, I think. And they even said I think whatever package they went with, they said they didn't even finish the program, I think, because she was so good after only like
I think they said like seven sessions.
So and then I'm sure they worked with her too, but so no, we're really excited, and we're glad that we could talk to you so quickly. Thanks for meeting with us like within 24 hours. That's really helpful.
Yeah, we're getting super busy.
I saw that.
So I'm helping out now because here at the facility, I'm the training facility manager. So I work all the board and trains, daycare and trains, puppy head starts, and I make the videos for the owners, and I'll do the follow-ups there too. So I'm starting to help out with the actual clients, like the in-person clients, and just getting it to flow more and getting it to move because we're getting a lot of clients. And but yeah, I'm always happy to help in everything. So this is awesome for me too, because I'll get clients here and there, but I've never had like officially helped. You know what I mean? Because I'm back and forth here as well.
Yep.
But yeah, it's cool. And then what else?
She's just sitting.
And then a common question owners would ask is like, how long or when does the e-collar come off? So it's only on when you need it. So like, for example, like for Susie, if she knows she's going to be off leash walking to the park, it's going to be on.
Yeah.
But if she's fine in the house, she doesn't need it, because and then sometimes for example, we'll use Maizy. Let's say like you're having a familiar friend come over that she knows, and she's going to be excited. What you would do is you'd call her up like 30 minutes prior. And then just address her excitement there. And then maybe you just notice that she's fine the rest of the day, the rest of the visit. So then you can take it off. And it depends on the dog too. So like it can just be for like the first 15 minutes to control her. And then once she's kind of dialed down, then you can take it off and let her just relax or whatever. So it's just like when you need it. If she's in the house, she ends up being a fine dog or a good dog. And it's also just practicing being consistently reinforcing things. So if she, for example, just reinforcing things, and then she will kind of change quicker because you're going against what she's been practicing, which is going to be a little difficult. But then once you reinforce and you make new habits, those become the new habits for her. Does that make sense?
Not like doing it with some guests and not with others. Like anytime we have someone over, we practice
and then you're going to get those surprises, so it's going to be kind of hard to know about that, but as long as it's going to happen, just being ready for it. But also like Maisy's not going to like wake up one day and just think, you know what, I'm not gonna pull today, or I'm not gonna be excited. She's not gonna like adapt that way. So just reinforcing it and just making it a practice behavior for her, so she starts to think, okay, these are the rules, no question or anything about it.
Question with that: should we, if there's like, for example, I think a good example is door scratching. Should we put her in situations where she scratches doors and kind of force her to scratch the door and then do it, like give her a pulse? Like, would that lead to quicker results, or should we just kind of let it happen organically as it normally does?
So we always like to put dogs in situations where they're going to make a mistake. So for example, when we're teaching the heel command, our leash is slack, it's loose. A lot of trainers will tighten the leash and with the prong and be like heel, heel, and pop, pop, pop. And then the dog's technically not learning anything because you're limiting where it can go. So once you give all that slack, she's probably gonna go forward, right? And that's being addressed. So when we need to see the mistakes to address them. Because if we never see the mistakes, then it's not going to be addressed. So you can do that. Set up because you said you have a camera, right?
And then we can watch her like do it.
You can set up a camera and everything and just, you know, take the time to address that. Or what you can do is, if you want to continue leaving her in the crate for now, because for our crate rules, I think it was like until like they're 1.5 or 2 years old, they're always in the crate, if not being supervised. So you can either do that, you set up your camera towards the door and then correct as needed, or you can do the crate and then address her trying to get out of the crate. So she's more passive. And that panting is her just being stressed, and she has to let it out somehow, because dogs release stress, frustration, all these like moods through the mouth. So for example, Jessie had a client that they were staying in an Airbnb on 4th of July, and the dog was stressed. Because he doesn't like fireworks, so he was just hiding under the table stressed. And then their friend came over, and the dog knows the friend. The friend came over, saw the dog on the table, and reached in, and then bam, he bit him.
Oh.
And then he was just kind of like, okay, and he left. And then when the owners came back, the dog wasn't stressed anymore. He was just like, hey, he was relaxed because he let it out through the bite. And there was whole other stuff about that, like you know, the territorialness, but I'm just focusing on the releasing for you guys of the stress. Keeping it panting and like salivating, they're just trying to release it. So it's good to seeing that, but we can address the going in the kennel and trying to escape the kennel.
Awesome.
The e-collar.
Cool.
What else? For the programs we have, because you said that Susie might have been on this, maybe she was on the 12, I'm thinking, I'm not sure, but we're having clients. Well, earlier on we were having clients like if they did 12, they did 6 in the facility because it was colder out, and then they're gonna do 6 at Oz Park. Do you guys know where Oz Park is at?
It's a frequent walk for us. It's close.
We walk.
Oz Park is like Oz Park is like the busiest park ever. There's always
so many dogs playing, and we're always like, how do those people trust their dog to stay in the field and not go to the busy streets all around?
Sometimes I think I'm not sure if I was there. Jessie was at that park or a park. There's a bunch of dogs off leash, and you know, they didn't have e-collars or anything. And then a firework went off, and Jessie told us, let's see which dog runs away. I think like 2 ran, like they just dipped, and like they had no way to get their dog back.
That's so scary.
So it is kind of irresponsible for them to do that unless the dog is trained. Then by all means, enjoy your life with your dog. But there's risk in that, and all it takes is this one time. You know, it just takes one time for you to realize, like, oh, okay, you know.
And then it's too late.
So if Maizy's good in the house, you don't need the collar. If you're going to do a little walk, you would have the collar on. You know, because sometimes, you know, like for example, you guys drive, right?
Yes.
Hi, Bruce. Morning.
Do you drive on the highway or expressway?
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you go the speed limit?
No.
But then when you see a squad car, what do you notice with like everyone basically?
Wait, with what?
When you see like a cop on like the side.
Slow down. Go the speed limit.
So same thing with Maizy. What if you know, if there's no, it's because we like to call the e-collar like a cop on a collar. So she's gonna recognize, and it's called opportunistic behavior. Humans have it, dogs also have it. So if she realizes the e-collar is not on, she's probably gonna take advantage of that and kind of press the boundaries. And you guys know it has nothing to do with the training, or the knowledge of me and Jessie or anything like that, or you guys. It's just it's nature. They just, if you can get away with something, we're gonna get away with it. You know. So just a heads up on that. But yeah, I mean, For the programs we have, it's like I said before, it was what do you see yourself doing with Maizy? The 6-week program is just like we walk our dog to the dog park and back home. That's pretty much it.
Okay.
Thus, the 9-week program is I walk my dog to the dog park and then we go to restaurants and I need my dog to be in a down command for 3 hours and she's to be laid down calmly. And then the 12-week program is I take my dog to the park. I go to restaurants. I also go hiking and I go to the beach or parks or anything like that. And you want that off leash reliability. With the 6, 9, and 12, you already get off leash reliability because we try not to use a leash. So you'll see as we go through the lessons, your leash is going to be slack the whole time. So you're already from class 1 on your way to off leash. It's just like the amount of commands you want to learn to make that effective. So like with the 12-week, we teach you more to have more control. And then same thing, like if it's 6-week, you probably wouldn't need to know like certain commands. You just walk your dog, but we always try to teach heel, which is 2 classes. It's like, walk with me, stay with me, sit when I stop. So if you take 5 steps, Maizy's to take 5 steps. If you come to a stop, she's to sit. And this is all done with a slack leash in any environment, even Oz Park. She's to be at your, whatever side you walk her on. So if you're walking her on your left side, her right shoulder is to be parallel with your left leg, always.
Okay.
And then we also teach recall, always, just come when called. And we always make it happen.
Okay.
What commands were you guys like looking for to like learn from Maizy or?
Probably just reinforcing, like definitely heel, and then reinforcing like sitting when people are, when people are coming over, or those times when she gets really excited and wants to jump up. And then I guess reinforcing come.
I don't know about learning anything new. I feel like we taught her everything she needs to know. It's just like Caroline said in the beginning, like she just does it when she feels like it.
She knows that like we can say sit, stay, and then walk to the other end of the condo and say come, and she'll do it, but she does those things when she knows we have a treat. So it's hopefully that makes it a little easier, that like she knows the commands. It's just like knowing that she has to do them 100% of the time will be the thing. But I can't think of anything else really. It's like those main things. So I don't know, like based on what we've described, like which program, or like of the 3, are there like 1 or 2 that seem like they might be best for us based on our needs? Or
so I think you're more towards like the 6-week program. The commands that would be taught is the heel, recall, and then so those are 4 classes.
Okay.
And then you have 2 left. So the 2 could be like the stay command, and then the last one could be like go like a place. It's called place.
Okay.
Go here to your bed, and then you're not allowed to hop off until I say break.
Ooh, that would be big, actually. Yeah, I didn't think about that one. Yeah.
And then but I think you're more towards a 6-week program.
Okay.
The 9-week.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're fine.
If like we did the 6 and then realized through the sessions there was like one more thing we wanted to work on or something, is that an option to like, pay or whatever to add on an extra session or 2, or is that not really typically what you guys do?
We always allow that. I think, I'm not sure what Jesse recommends. I think he recommends that if you wanted more classes, that it depends how many you want. If you just want 1, I think that's cool. But if you want like buy single ones, it's better to just buy a bundle. So it's a better deal for you guys.
Okay.
That's always allowed. You can do that. But that's just like the in-person. So the other options you have is like board and train and the daycare and train. So we just talked about in person. It's just when like, I'm not really sure how things are working now. They're changing if we're going to meet at Oz or if I'm going to be meeting with you guys, or like, because obviously you can always, if you wanted to Jesse to help you guys, you can switch there too. And then I think he'd be meeting you guys at Oz now or the facility. I'm not sure when things are going to be changing for the location wise. But for daycare and train, how that works is, you send your dog to daycare and then they get trained. We teach everything in one day. And then you get your dog back and then you kind of just, depending on the bundle you choose, you get, I think you get 3 follow-ups or just 2. I'm not familiar with the follow-ups, how many you get. Yeah. But you'll get follow-up because it's not like we train your dog here, good luck, watch the video. Yeah. Follow up to coach you to make sure you guys are doing everything correctly. But your dog gets to enjoy a full day of daycare. So like they'll play, they'll do duration work here for like, duration work meaning they're on the placemat and just like practicing calmness with everything going on. We have treadmills here as well. And then she's getting worked with all the handlers, so it's not just me, it's everyone. And then like we'll do like a training walk here and there to Home Depot, get them exposed. And then we have programs for that. So it's like the 10 day, maybe the 15, and then the 20 day is equal to the 12-week program. So the difference is that in person you learn more because we're hands off. So if me or Jesse, we don't touch the dog. It's just we're coaching you how to go about it. You're learning how to do it and like you're going through the experience of it. Versus daycare and train or board and train, it's quicker, but you're not there to see everything done because we do record everything. Like we record all the first sessions for you guys to see how Maizy took it and everything. But you're not going through that experience of like you doing it, And then there's also the other thing is that the training will be tied to us because we're the ones teaching it here. Right. So when you get Maizy back, we'll have to like kind of transfer everything to you. If you were to do a board and train, we would have to transfer everything to you. And since it's e-college, easily transferable. But I'm just giving you guys all the options just in case you wanted to, or if you were interested in board and train, daycare and train, and then the in-person, obviously you get the full effect, but it's slower. It's going at, we give you one topic a week just to focus on. So we make it simple for you guys instead of just giving you all the commands in one day if we were to do that, Yeah.
I think we'd probably want to do the one with us to help us so that, we can understand how to keep reinforcing it and practice doing the things ourselves. Cause I feel like that's our biggest problem right now is like us not being consistent with the commands and everything. So
Yeah. And then, e-collar is, you'll make mistakes. We'll coach you through it. You're not gonna, if you accidentally, hit a number that was too high and she doesn't yelp, you're not gonna mess her up like psychologically or physically or mentally or anything like that. She's gonna be fine because we teach very black and white, but there is a gray area where you guys can like make error and it's not gonna ruin the training. It's not gonna do anything. All that matters is that you're practicing and doing the homework. And that like we're just correcting here and there and whatever, but just practicing doing the homework. And I don't know Maizy's number on the e-collar, like it could be 25, it could be 70, it could be whatever. So we don't know that. So sometimes owners have a hard time seeing that their dog is on like an 80 level out of 127. Like that's so high, but like the dog's fine. Like that's where the dog thrives,
Yes.
So being ready if the number's high, just being able to overcome that emotional factor. I think that's right. And just overcoming it and then doing it, because we have to focus. Because sometimes like I think an owner was having a hard time because I feel bad, but then like once like we were doing the training and fixing stuff, we reached this number, and then the dog's perfect. And then it was 70. He's like, yeah, I just feel bad when I'm at this high. But it's fine. But yeah, how old is Maizy's? Like 6 months, right?
She's actually a year and 2 months.
Yeah, 14 months old now.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah. And then how I guess she's not, I mean, she's pretty much fully grown. How much does she weigh?
Yeah. She's like 50 pounds?
No, she's like 60, 65 pounds.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay, 60. So you have two options. We have a, I think it's like 250 e-collar, 250 tax, which is meant for 70 pounds and under.
Okay, amazing.
It's more blocky. It's like a block, but then you have another option because you do have a golden, so she might, the fur and everything and like the personality, she might be a little more tougher. We have the 70 pound and over e-collar, which is, it's not the square. It looks like it's more rounded. So it's, you know, if you want an athletically pleasing collar, it can be rounded here. And then you also don't have the worry of like, is this going to be enough for Maizy, or like, am I going to be in a situation where like I'm back at the Prong where it's not enough power? So for example, if a firework went off and Maizy was in flight mode, because when they're in flight mode, they're thinking kill or be killed. Like they're I'm gone.
They're doing
you need to be able to override that that mindset. So if you don't have enough power on your e-collar, she's just gonna keep running away. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
And then Maria will tell you all your options and everything, and the email and like the links and where to buy them and everything, and then the programs for these collars. But there's so that the one is the 280C.
Okay.
And then the one that's 70 pounds and over is the 1900S Black Edition. The Black Edition is the one you want to get because there's another 1900S, but that's a lower power than the Black Edition.
Okay.
But yeah, any questions?
Okay.
Done for me.
No, just I know you said Maria will reach out on scheduling. Are you guys like backlogged at all, or like how quickly would we be able to start scheduling, like as soon as like this week, or are you guys kind of like backlogged?
Yeah, so with my schedule, I'm open. So you would have, if you want to start immediately, I can get you started immediately. Jesse has a little more clients because there's more severe, he has more severe clients. So
that's what we read online, that like he focuses a little more on like strong, like maybe behavioral issues, which Maizy doesn't have. She's just kind of a brat.
Yeah, for sure. So, you know, I'm pretty sure when you go with me, I'll get you started. We'll get started immediately because right now I only have. I'm finishing up a 12-week program and I'm starting one today. So it'd be, if you want to start immediately, I can get you there.
Awesome.
You know, you just let Maria know about that.
Great.
But other than that, anything else?
No, and then I guess I'm sure maybe this will be in the email, but is it typically like, do we schedule a different time each week, or do we say like we always meet like on Mondays at 5 p.m. or whatever it may be? Yeah,
so it's an hour once every week. So if you were doing six week classes and you chose Monday at 5, it'd be Monday at 5 for 6 weeks. But then I think they gave you an extra one. So it's 6 classes and then an extra just in case you need to reschedule or something happens. So you have that slot still available. If you miss 2 classes, you would have to wait a while to catch up because we're trying to get the class flowing and everything.
Right.
But yeah, it's an hour a week. And then I need to check on the locations and everything, if I would be going to you guys or if we're going to be meeting at Oz Park.
Maizy.
But yeah, anything else?
Any other questions?
Nope.
No, thank you. That was very helpful answer to all of our questions. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything. Yeah, I think that's all. Like I said, Maria will be reaching out to you
Okay.
with those information and like availability.
Okay.
So other than that, and then if you guys want to keep the prong, just real quick, the because you live in the city, so you're gonna run into situations where like the squirrel.
Yeah.
You go around the corner and there's like a dog right there.
Right.
You can keep the prong for handling skills. So like you switch back to the flat buckle collar.
Yeah.
Because if you're not going to have the prong collar, have the flat buckle collar. Because harnesses go against e-collar. Because harnesses promote.
Yeah.
So if you want the prong, you can keep it with prong with e-collar. That's like the ultimate control because you have that those handling skills.
Right.
So it's up to you. With the flat buckle, you have that risk of running around a corner. This dog, like you have that flat buckle.
Yeah.
It's not going to be consequence for her to lunge versus the prong. Just more control. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense.
Okay.
Yep.
But that was just real quick little tip there. But other than that, if you guys don't have any questions, it was a pleasure speaking with you. And sorry for the little flukes with the setting this up because we switched to
it's all good.
And everything. Thank you for your patience.
No problem.
Thanks
for meeting with us.
Yeah, looking at hopefully seeing you in person this week.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. We'll look out for that email.
Get in?
We'll look out for that email.
Yes.
From Maria.
Awesome. It was nice talking to you guys. Enjoy
the
rest of your Sunday and we'll see each other soon, hopefully.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.